Hi, I'm Jenny from Alice in Paperland, and today we're going to do a little bit on puff vinyls. So these are the puff vinyls that we are keeping in stock at the moment. You can see they're absolutely beautiful colours, and a lot of you aren't sure exactly what to do with them, so today I'm going to show you. This here, I'll just grab this from behind me, is a shirt that I've already done with puff. Okay, so here we are, and if you can just see sideways there, it gives you this lovely raised, a bit like the old puff paints, but this one isn't going to come off in the wash at all. So you can see here it cuts beautifully, and I have to say it absolutely weeds like a dream. So this is a shirt I've done. Now it has the same sort of temperature settings as most of the other vinyls, but we'll go through that in a minute. Just have a look at this. And then what we'll do is, I've got a brother scan and cut, so we'll cut out a little elephant. I've got a couple of bags that I've already prepared so that I can show you, but we'll cut out a little elephant to pop onto a baby's onesie, and then we'll weed that. I've got a couple of other things that I've already cut so you can see how easy it is to weed, and we'll pop it on the heat press and show you how wonderful it is to use and what a surprise it is when you do it. I love this stuff, and with Christmas coming up, the amount of things that you could do as gifts and fun stuff for Christmas is just endless. Absolutely endless. Anyway, let's get on with cutting this little elephant. I'm going to do him today in the blue. I've got a lovely little grey onesie, so I think we'll use the blue today, and then we'll do some surprise hearts coming out of his trunk as well. So let's just get rid of these. I'll just take the blue now, pop this here, and I'll be back in a second. So here we are. I'm just going to move you across here a little bit. Okie dokie, here we go. And up a touch. Okay, so as with most of your heat transfer vinyls, we're going to cut it this side down. Okay, so we'll do this here like this, and I'm popping it onto my sheet there, my cutting mat. I very rarely cut down my pieces of vinyl to put into my machine. I usually keep them all a decent size. The great thing about my scan and cut is if I do cut chunks out of it, then I can come back later on and I can just scan the whole thing, and I can place my design anywhere I want. So I'll retrieve the data. I've got it on a stick at the moment, and we'll get this little elephant here. Now, at the moment, he's quite large, and I only want him to be, I'll edit him, and I want him to be about, I suppose, about 8 centimetres for a little onesie. It's only tiny. So what I'll do, instead of doing it millimetre by millimetre, I'll just we'll cut him down by 50%, and that makes him, if I check again, that makes him 85 millimetres high and 88 millimetres wide. So that should be perfect for a little onesie. Just get my little stick here and we'll just pop that up here. Okay, now the other thing to remember when you're cutting on heat transfer is to reverse your image. So if I want him to be looking to the right, I'm going to have to reverse him and cut him looking to the left. So I'll do that. Say okay. Yep, I'm happy with that. Now all I'm going to do here is I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to select cut. Now before I ever cut anything, I always test. So I just cut a tiny little circle, and I can move that anywhere I like, and I start. Now that'll do a little test cut. That means as my knife is getting just that little bit more worn, I can make sure that it cuts through the vinyl, and I don't have to worry about having to go back and recut by hand, or worry about my design not cutting at all. And look at that, came out absolutely perfect. So I know my knife's cutting fine. I'm just going to start that, and away it will go. So that's going to cut away there for us for a couple of seconds. A whole minute it says, but I don't think it'll really take that long. Then we'll pop this machine away. We'll weed this little elephant, and these other couple of things that I have to show you. I absolutely love this Brother machine. I've never used a Cricut. I know a lot of you will have Cricut machines. Definite two camps there. That wasn't a minute, was it? So we'll just eject that, take this away, put my little stylus in there, and we'll put that machine just out of the road for us. Okay, I'm going to take him off there, just like that, and I'll throw that down out of the road as well. So here we are. You can hardly see it on there. Can you see that? Just a little outline of the elephant just there, almost. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to weed him. First of all, what I'll do is I'll just cut around him so that we don't waste too much of our vinyl. Okay, so I finally found my scissors that were on the other side of the room. Talk about organised. Okay, so we'll just trim around this little elephant. I always trim quite close because, you know, vinyl isn't cheap. And then if I keep my sheets all in one piece as well, that way I'm not wasting too much either. Normally, if I'm doing designs, I'll do a whole heap of things to take up quite a bit of the vinyl and then keep them. Now, if I was doing a bigger design here, I'd fill in all the little spaces with hearts and stars, any other words I could find that I could manage to slip in there. And then I keep all those separately. I've got little folders that I pop these things into, and then you've got them. Yeah, extra pieces to add to your designs on shirts and bags, etc., without having to worry too much. So we've got our little elephant cut around there. I'll just pop that sheet out of the road for the time being. And we're going to weed. I'm sure you'll all have weeding tools. If you don't have a weeding tool, we can access these. They're really excellent tools. They're a really good quality, feel good in the hand. So here we go. So this is his little ear here. I'll just pull that out. If you could get this out nicely, you could probably use this heart again to see if I can get that out without wrecking it totally. That's a nice little heart you could use. Pop that under there. So I'll pop him aside. I don't know what anybody else does with their weeding scraps. I have a tendency to keep mine. I've got bags of it now, in the hope that one of these days, all the little bits, look how easy this weeds. Look, see that? Look at that. Absolutely perfect. In the hope that one of these days I'll put a whole heap of it all over fabric and then use the fabric in something constructive. I just put all my scraps into a little box and label them Puff. Now, his little eye is just here. Just pull that off. Don't forget his little toes. Just here. This is really tricky filming this and making sure everyone can see. and these little toes just here. And there's a tiny, just watch this when you do designs, there's this tiny little fine piece just in here. And this is why I love this tool. It's got lovely fine point. And just pull that out. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay. And look, there's our little elephant. Just get him into the camera focus there. Isn't he gorgeous? Okay, so we'll put the scraps out of the road. Keep our little heart for somewhere else one day. Now the other thing that I've got for you to show you how well it weeds is this. Now this is soft metallic, and I've cut the hearts popping out of his trunk out of this soft metallic. This is absolutely beautiful, and when it goes on the fabric, it's got a little bit of give. We keep this as well. It's a rainbow stripe. It's got that lovely glittery feel to it. And again, I know quite often there's questions. I've had questions about how well this weeds, this our vinyl, and it weeds just lovely. And there we go. Okay, so there's our hearts that the little elephant's going to be puffing away. So that's for our little baby outfit. Now the other thing I've cut is I've cut a design that I had. This is in the neon pink puff. It's a flamingo, and I've cut it so that it would fit on a mask that we've got to wear these days. They don't seem to be going away anywhere soon. So this is the flamingo. The flamingo normally has some lacy pieces on it, but I just edited those lacy pieces out. And I'm just going to weed her. She's very cute. I've got a real thing about flamingos at the moment. Everyone thinks I'm crazy, but they're so cute. Just take that little piece out of its leg there. And there's our flamingo. And I wanted to show you how fine this particular vinyl will cut. So I've got here words, let's flamingle. So I'll pop this up here again, start on the corner. So I'll just lift that corner a little bit, and here we go. This is how fine, and look, this is still weeding absolutely brilliantly. Just going to peel that off. I want, oops, get it into camera, Jen. Here we go. The only thing I've lost there, I'll just pop that little tiny dot. Just push that out there. I don't know about you, I always seem to have trouble with little tiny dots. So we'll just pull him out. Put him on separate in a minute. Okay, so here, look, there we go. Just keep doing this. I keep pulling it off out of camera, sorry about that. You can see how fine this lettering is. It's about 1 millimetre wide, not even probably, about 1/2 millimetre wide, if the truth be known. And I'm going slowly so that you can see how easily this is pulling away. Look at that, absolutely perfect. So we just go back and pull out the middle of the A. pull this box over here for a second. This here. Now, I do have my husband's mask down here. However, if I tried to put a pink flamingo on it, I'm quite sure I'd be divorced by the end of the week. So I think I'll keep this one for Alice, and I'll steal her mask next time I go into work and pop that on. So I'm just going to lift this little dot here. I guess it wouldn't really matter if there wasn't a dot, but you know, we like to get things right. See if I can turn that over the right way and get it into place. Again, your tool is the best thing you've got there. There we go. Spot on. Look at that. Beautiful. And look how fine, I'll just turn this up here. Look how fine that writing is. It's absolutely perfect, and you saw how easy it was to weed. So there's absolutely no problems with this vinyl at all. So the way that this would work is that sits like that, and it looks really cool. Okay, so we'll pop that aside. This is actually the instructions for puff, and you can see you can you heat transfer it at 140 to 150 degrees C, and it's for 8 to 12 seconds. Okay, 140 to 150 for 8 to 12 seconds, and peel warm. I have to tell you, once you see this work, you'll realize you don't have to peel it at all. It just pops that that sheet straight off. I will say, for any of the vinyls, follow the instructions. If you don't follow the instructions, you run the risk of things going wrong. Now, with puff, don't put it into the tumble dryer. Okay, so line dry, and iron on the reverse side. Right, so well, let's have a look back here at this wonderful little suit. Okay, so I'm going to cut these little hearts out, because we've got to place them individually, and that would be a bit easier if they were separate. 1, 2, I'll just cut the edge off that. And again, I'll just show you what I normally do. I've got all of these folders here, and I've got paw prints and stars in this one. I put baking paper in between them so that they don't stick to one another. Right. So I've got one for stars and paw prints, I've got another one for hearts, I've got another one for puff specifically. I just think it just makes life so much easier. Now, our vinyl works as well as with heat, it works with pressure. So it's really important that you be able to put pressure onto the piece when you're applying your vinyl. So with these little outfits, we've got this envelope neck going on, and you can see that adds quite a bit of thickness there. So if I was to try and put that straight onto a heat press, this area that's so thick up here is actually going to hold the heat press away from the actual vinyl itself. So there are a couple of ways you can do this. You can fold this back, right? But the heat press is going to press that back, and you could end up with permanent creases. What I do is I make a little pouch out of Teflon, and I put neoprene in the middle. So this is only fine neoprene, it's only a few millimeters thick, so I've doubled it up, and it's just like a little envelope really. I just put that in there, and I've made it to a size that I can work with little people's clothing. You make them any size you like. Teflon works really well on the machine. You can sew it up to whatever you want. And just a tip for you, if you'd like to make neoprene's extremely expensive, but if you really want to make some of those, you could find old wetsuits and cut them up. Loads of charity shops have old wetsuits, and it's probably an awful lot less expensive than trying to buy it from the stores that have it available on the high street. So I think we'll put that little one there, that little one there, maybe. And I've got this one just here. I'm just going to pop that up high enough and over far enough that will cover that. Now, when the heat transfer happens, that means this will go below that cushion and all the heat and pressure will be applied here. So I'm happy with that and how it looks. Absolutely. Okay, so I've already got a bag prepared off to the side here, so let's have a look at that. None of this was on my list bag. Really great for gift ideas, and let's have a go. Okay, so here we are with the bag. I've already got it cut, weeded and placed. This is a great heat press. The little tray that I've got this on just slides back in. It's already up to temperature. I can set it for 8 to 12 seconds. That's it telling me it's ready to go. But I'm just going to press it down, lock it, and I'm going to watch the timer here. I had it set for 15 seconds because I'm usually using just the normal Style Tech, and I'm just going to release that just before the 15 seconds is up because I only needed 12 seconds. And here we go. Look, as I told you, that transfer sheet, it just pops it off all on its own. And here we are. Look. And we've got, none of this was on my list. In puff. And it looks amazing. Ta-da! I don't know if you can see that. Doesn't it look fantastic? It looks really, really beautiful. You can just see how that's puffy. Okay, so we've done that one. I'll just throw that over there. Let's do this little monkey. Okay, so the soft metallic that I've got there, I'll just actually pop that this way, I think. The soft metallic that I've got on here works at the same temperature for 8 to 12 seconds at that temperature. So I've got it set for 150. Just going to pop that in there like that. Ready, push that back in and push it down. A few more seconds. Let it go. And here we go. Here he is. Look at this. And look, the transfer sheet's already come off. And we'll just see. Sometimes you've just got to be a bit careful with this one. You don't want to peel this one too hot. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. I'll take this out. And there he is. A little puffy elephant. Isn't he beautiful? Okay, so would you like to see one more bag before we go today? I'll just grab another one that I've got ready to go. Okay, so this is our second bag. I'm just going to fix that top edge up there so that it's over the back of the tray. We don't want anything too thick or bulky. So I had already cut this out, and just in my little packet of extras there I had a little heart ready to go. I cannot tell you how wonderful this machine is with the tray that slips out. Took me a while though. I forgot that the tray slipped out, and I spent most of my time placing things like this underneath, burning my fingers. So we'll just pop this in underneath there. You'll notice I've got Teflon on my machine. I made covers for the bottom tray and the top here. That was hot. And the reason is it just means I don't have to think about putting a Teflon cover over my pieces, and I never have to worry about having to replace these soft pads that are the cushion pads underneath either, because I wrecked them because they're permanently protected. And it was really easy to do as well. As you can see, it's just overlocked, the Teflon. We do have access to this Teflon as well. So if you're looking to do something like this, or make yourself little these little packets with the neoprene inside to help applying your heat transfer vinyl to your pieces, please let us know. We don't keep everything on the floor at Alice in Paperland all of the time, but it usually only takes a couple of days for us to get whatever you need in. So let's pop this down. I only want this to be for 12 seconds. So I'll just lock that down, and I'm going to let it go. And there we are. And here we go. And look at that. The tops all come off. There we go. All that paper, all that. There's our application paper. It just pops straight off. You don't have to peel it. It comes off on its own. As it puffs, it just pushes it off. And there we go. I could give up shopping, but I'm not a quitter. Perfect. So there we go. There's 3 things that we've done really, really fast. As I said, it only takes 10 to 12 seconds at the right temperature. Your little piece here, perfectly done. No tumble drying at all. And I'm always careful with whatever I do. Anything that's handmade really needs, I think, a little bit more care than most. And if it's worth you doing it, it's worth someone else looking after it as well, I believe. So if I was going to wash this bag, I would turn it inside out and wash it. It can be washed in the washing machine, absolutely. Don't iron it directly onto the puff itself. Iron on the back. I don't usually put a lot of pressure on anything like this, even those screen printed t-shirts. I don't put a lot of pressure on when I iron on the back of those transfers either. I'm always careful. It's a warm wash, a maximum of 80 degrees, and it is absolutely not suitable for tumble drying. Okay, layering is not recommended with this either. So what you see is absolutely what you get. And there we go. So puff. Puff is your new obsession. I can guarantee it will be your new obsession. It's absolutely lovely. Anyway, until next time, ladies, and gentlemen, I'll be back with some other interesting things to do with vinyl and just some general ideas and tips with our heat transfer vinyl. Keep in mind our vinyl is commercial grade vinyl, okay? It's made to last. It's made to be the best. And if there are ever any questions or problems, please do not hesitate to contact us. If there's something that we can't answer, then we will contact our supplier and get an answer for you. But until then, enjoy your vinyl and I'll see you soon. Bye.